All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, hang on tight and listen up close. This is Covet coming at you from Splinterlands. This is definitely one of the games I've played a lot of, and I enjoy a lot. I used to play a lot of Magic the Gathering. I've definitely played a lot of Hearthstone. And eventually, what I found was with Magic the Gathering, it was great, but having to try and find people all the time became kind of a pain in my butt. And with Hearthstone, I just had a lot of trouble spending that much money on digital goods that I was never going to recoup any of it from, especially after having played Magic, where you could collect cards. I find Splinterlands is the perfect amalgamation of the two because I get a chance to play card games just like I would with Magic or with Hearthstone. But I also get a chance to actually keep my cards, trade them, sell them. Uh, and in fact, here in Splinterlands, one of the things you can do is even rent cards out. Let's go take a quick look at the card market. And they're cheap. I mean, if you wanted to buy cards, I mean, what card do you want? There's all kinds of cards. If we went with just like price, I mean, pennies a piece for some of these cards, whatever you want. But at the same time, I don't want to scare anybody, but some expensive cards hiding in the mix. I mean, generally speaking, an expensive card is a couple of $100. But that's before you get into gold foils, which, just like any other card game, gold foils are worth 10x or whatever. But just an example of some of the cards. Let's go take a look at playing a game here for just a quick minute. Yep, all of this. Yeah, thanks. Land. Ooh, land is coming out. For those of you who want to get involved in the game, land is not quite ready for full time, which means it's probably a really good time for somebody new to get involved in a game like this. So let's go. I got 3 minutes to decide what I'm going to do. This tells me what the rules are about my summoners who decide what colors and stuff I'm going to play. This is how much mana total and then what colors I'm allowed to play. All right, so it doesn't matter which one of these guys. You can see all their abilities are grayed out, so none of their abilities are going to matter. So at this point, I want a low-cost one. And this guy happens to be dragon and with no ability, so it doesn't gray it out. I like blue, so let's go with blue. Now, I got 26 mana, so let's try and put up a little bit of a defense. Now, they're going to attack in the order that they are, so let's put a big guy up front, and let's put a healer in there. And, oh, this guy has reach. That's what this is, heals the front line. This guy has the ability to reach past the first guy. That's pretty cool, too. This guy says whenever he dies, everything beside him gets +1/+1, so let's play a sneaky trick. Let's get rid of that, and instead, let's go over here to this guy. And the reason I'm picking him is because of 2 magic, but 5 speed specifically. And now 5 speed with a little bit of healing on that is pretty good. What do we got left? Okay, let's get rid of this reach guy then. And instead, let's put in this guy who I have right here, who's going to bring somebody back to life, which is fantastic because if this guy dies, gives him +1/+1, and this guy brings this guy back to life, well, you can see where I'm going with this. Now, I got 2 mana left. Let's put this guy at the very, very back because he has really high speed, which should make him harder to hit with all those sneak attack guys, and with a couple of health, he'll at least survive 1 hit. And then I have this, which I'm actually just going to tuck it in front of my healer because I think this is the order we should do this in. Okay, I got a minute left, so I could take my time and argue about all the different things. This is a guy who has opportunity, lets him attack the weakest unit. This guy has reach. This guy gains life whenever he deals damage. I believe half the life that he deals, which always rounds up. So if you do 3 damage, you gain 2 life, which isn't bad. This guy has the ability to heal himself, which makes him a pretty decent frontline tank, but 4 mana means he's a little bit small. As you get to some of these bigger monsters, they get gigantic with all kinds of crazy abilities. But for now, battle. All right, so this is me. This is my opponent. You can see he's only got a level 1 guy. I got a level 2 guy, so I'm probably going to beat him just on the back of my monsters can be a higher level because my thing is a higher level, the summoner. And his summoner is a lower level, so his monsters are only level 1. Now, most of my monsters are level 1 too, except for this healer back here. And he's got a level 1 healer, which this should be interesting because he's doing pretty similar things. This is the thing that I'm worried about the most. We will see how that plays out. Because this guy's going to come in and smack that guy. Oh, perfect. This guy was the fastest thing, and it killed this, which means that I got the res on this, so my guy is getting bigger and bigger, whereas his guy is not. Perfect. Now we're doing 2 damage to him. He's only doing 1 to us, which should... I mean, it's not gonna matter because this guy's gonna come through and kill us, isn't it? Oh, that sucks. Okay. Well, first match didn't go as well as I would have liked. I mean, that's sometimes how it goes, I guess. I don't know. No, I just can't beat this healer, and this guy eventually is going to start killing me. Okay. I don't need to keep watching that. And now you can see how this game, where the core of it is the strategy of trying to pick your guys that are in your battle, or pick the cards that are in your battle. Whereas once a battle is playing out, you can kind of predict mathematically what will happen, although there are things that have X percentage chance of doing something. Aim true. All right. So everything automatically hits. We've only got 14 mana, so we're low. Let's go with, I mean, if we've got white, his thing is going to be preventing all the damage, like for sure. We're going to get smoked. I don't see a way around this. Let's just put some low mana guys that have magic in here. I see we're getting hosed right away. All right. Let's just keep pushing as much stuff in the way as we can possibly push. Now, what I essentially built there was a plus magic team. He's doing a plus magic team also. See, he's lower level than me. This is one of the challenges of playing at bronze level, is that you can get just beat out by people who are playing optimum characters, which is all like presupposed by computers, which is very frustrating for somebody like me who is, you know, actually playing by hand like I think you should. But, you know, whatever. Every now and again you get a little lucky. Look at that. All right, let's sneak back in. So you can see I got 48 out of 50 energy, so they try and suggest not more than about 50 fights every 24 hours, and that's, you know, not crazy. You could play it all day if you wanted, and there's ways to get extra energy if you want to play more. But as a general rule, every time I'm playing, I'm getting a little bit of crypto, I'm getting a little bit of experience. Climbing the ladder, I think, is a better way of putting that. Okay, so let's try just, I really do like blue. It tends to be very good. But we're at a very low mana cost here. Let's try, if we do something like this and like this, leaves me with 1 mana, which isn't really enough for anything, but let's go like this. Ba-doop, ba-doop. Just put those in front. He's playing red. Let's put this guy at the back, and let's put this guy at the back, because that's going to work out better. If he plays red, he's going to be sneak attacking. If he plays white, he's going to be sneak attacking. If he plays dragon, he's got a 2 out of 3 chance of also playing red or white. So it's most likely that he sneaks, which is why I didn't go after sneak. Oh, and he protected from sneak, but then he went after this, which I think should work out for us. But I don't know. That healer is going to be a bit of a problem. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure why we won that, so let's speed that up. I skipped to the end to see what it was, but... See, this guy's got 2 attack, 2 speed, 5 armor, 9 health. He has the ability to do thorns, and this character gives all of his guys flying, which is why he's flying and he's flying and he's flying. Flying specifically just gives them like the ability to dodge. Although I think it should entail more, it doesn't right now, which is fine. But sorry about that. My phone's yelling at me, and one of my buddies is trying to get a hold of me here. Um, so I still don't know why we won, and I'm curious. I'm curious to see why we won. I want to see what happens here because I'm healing forever. He's healing forever. Eventually, what happens is, I think we start taking damage every turn, and it's a cumulatively more amount. So eventually, what happens is he takes 9 damage and dies. Or something. Yeah, see, here it goes. Here's the fatigue doing damage. And now it's just going to start nuking things. Yeah, now it does 2 damage all the way across the board. I heal from 6. Oh no, I don't heal from 6. Oh, but he can't hit me anymore. Oh, but he can't hit me anymore. All right. Well. All right, kids. I mean, that's a basic rundown of Splinterlands. Now, I mean, if you wanted sort of an idea of some of the stuff that's going on here, let's just go with stuff that I own, and let's just do it by element, and let's slap those gold foils in there, and we'll do this. Yeah, and then we'll go F5 and refresh that whole page because sometimes it gets sticky. No. Yeah, here we go. Okay, now these cards are guild cards that you only earn for playing with a guild. Some of these cards were reward cards that you could only get by winning inside the game. Like, for example, this guy. It's soulbound, so you can't get this card any other way except by playing. And they've talked about how, at least for the moment, you can't trade these cards because they are soulbound, but there will be rules, or at least my assumption is there will be rules for how to take that out into the real marketplace. Now, just to give you sort of some other examples, here are some of the different summoners that you can get. Each one of these summoners is going to give every guy on your team some different ability. And then whatever level the summoner is going to determine what level your monsters can be. And so you see, if you got a maxed out summoner, he can go all the way up to maxed out monsters. Now, in some leagues, you won't be able to. If you're starting out, you're in Bronze League, you're not going to be able to use max level monsters because they just don't let you. But if you're in Diamond League, you're allowed to use whatever you want, and so max level summoners let you use max level monsters. It's probably a good idea to get there. But, you know, you can look at some of these cards and they're, oh, really? That hurts my head a little bit that that's worth so little all of a sudden. But c'est la vie. I guess that's how it is. I definitely spent a few more bucks than that on some of those cards, but we won't get into that. Now, of course, on top of just playing like that, there's tournaments. You can play all the tournaments your heart desires. It depends on what kind of tournaments you want to play. Bronze League with only the new cards. It's similar to Magic, standard, type 1, however you want to refer to those kind of things. I've got a guild that I'm part of, NFT Gaming and Collectibles. I recommend checking out Gank and Walking Keys and their stream on NFT Gaming and Collectibles. If you want to learn more about Splinterlands and be a little bit up to date with the group of people that I hang out with, it's definitely a place to go. Of course, they've started working on land, and if you wanted to become a landowner within the game, there are going to be an amazing set of rules around all of this, but I don't want to spoil that too much. Soulkeep is another game that they are investing in as a company, and this should actually be an underlying style of the game, working with the same cards, working with additional cards for a different game mode to use these same pieces, which makes the pieces more valuable. When I buy a card and it's worth $5 and I want to put it out on the market for rent, I go rent the card for a penny a day, not even less than a penny a day. They use their own monetary system in here. You got DEC, which is kind of like your in-game cash. I mean, I don't want to say it that way, but it kind of is. This is credits. This is a way for you to buy game. If you want to buy credits from Splinterlands, then you can use those credits as though they were dark energy crystals. They work the same way, but this is stuff that you can earn inside the game, or you can trade your SPS off for it. But this is just sort of like when you're turning cash into cards. This is the easiest way to do it, I found. SPS is, of course, their governing token. With this, you get a chance to do lots of things, whether it's staking it to your account so that you get more rewards as you play. The more you have staked, the higher the percentage of those rewards are. But on top of that, there's liquidity pools and there's, all kinds of stuff like that. As you gain the SPS, you'll find out that eventually you could go and burn SPS. And not that I'm going to, but if you were to burn SPS, you get this much DEC, and that's where the DEC kind of comes from these days. All right. So there's most of that, there's most of that, and there's most of that. I'm just claiming the SPS that I've earned from playing games, owning some land, owning a couple of packs, stuff like that. And then, of course, you could always sneak over to the store where you can buy, right now the packs are sold out, but you could definitely buy Rift Watchers. There's still lots of that to go. Licenses, potions increase what you can open inside your packs. It's another cool thing about digital games is that the what is inside the pack can change in the middle of opening it, which is very strange, but it's cool. And of course, if you're a guildie, you could have guild marks and buy guild packs as well. All right, kids. That is pretty much it for my rundown of my first day playing Splinterlands with you. Hopefully you learned a little bit something. Hopefully you had some fun. We had a couple of wins. We had a couple of losses. Have a great day. All right. Cheers.